right, you go to a movie theater and you're accused of illegally taping the movie. What's the punishment for something like that? How about 3 years in prison? That's what's happening to Samantha Tumpac. She was watching the movie New Moon and taping her sister's surprise party at the same time. If you haven't seen the movie, here's little clips. You know what we're talking about.
What do we do with you now?
You already know what you're going to do, Varo.
She knows too much. She's a liability.
That's true. Felix?
Yeah, there you go. The movie's a blockbuster. It's made a ton. Now let's get back to the case at hand. This young woman has already spent 2 nights in jail, now faces prison time. As we said, the movie's a blockbuster, but come on, how about some common sense here? We'll take your calls, 1-877-TEL-HLN. We welcome back CNN legal analyst Lisa Bloom, and also with us, CW entertainment reporter Kelly Gillespie. Lisa, I'll start with you. Come on, a Class 4 felony and already 2 nights in jail for this?
Yeah, Mike, what's more preposterous, werewolves and vampires or these charges? Are you kidding me? I mean, these laws were designed to prevent somebody from going in with a video camera, making a DVD, and going out on the street corner and selling it, because that's piracy. We all understand that that's wrong. This is a young woman, 20, 21 years old, very young, who videoed everybody singing happy birthday, a couple of minutes, only about 4 minutes of the film, and then back to her friends goofing around in the theater for her sister's birthday. This is the #1 movie in the country. And I think the producers and the studio behind New Moon should get together and say, we forgive her.
Exactly.
We don't want any charges. Let her go. This is a total waste of time and resources.
There's a bully effect kind of feeling here. Kelly, who is it? The theater managers, they're the ones that are insisting on pressing charges here, right?
Yeah, that's what was unclear to me, whether this is a studio issue or a distribution issue. But I think regardless of what it's going to be, the biggest concern with this is the piracy. And bottom line is piracy ends up costing money, but at what expense? Where does the line get blurred from something that's been leaked, that's a little bit viral, that can whet people's appetite and end up being a promotional tool versus something that ends up causing somebody to end up in jail for 3 years?
Yeah, exactly. Let me read the statement. This is from Movico Entertainment. That's a theater chain where this young lady and her sister and her friends watched the movie. And here it is. Part of their statement is, in order to combat the increasing theft of copyrighted films, the motion picture industry has encouraged theater owners to adopt a zero-tolerance policy prohibiting the video or audio recording of any portion of a movie. All right, we get that, and we know that Summit Entertainment, the studio that released New Moon, no comment from them. Kelly, don't you... I'll ask you this, and I'll get Lisa in as well, but Kelly, don't you think Summit should step in and give this Twilight fan, or Twihard fan, that's the hardcore fans out there, a break and help her out a little bit?
Well, you would think, because the common sense within you, I mean, Lisa can answer the legal side of it, but the common sense within you says, this is ridiculous to put somebody in jail for what seemed to be a fun family adventure, you know, that they're shooting. The last thing that the studio wants to do is alienate their fan base. You see that especially in movies like New Moon and the Twilight series, something like Star Trek, something like the Harry Potter series, where fans are what's driving it. They're hungry for anything that they can get out online. And we've seen that. You know, Comic-Con is hosted in San Diego. It's probably one of the craziest conventions I've ever been to. And people line up. And, you know, there's been leaked photos. The New Moon script last spring accidentally got thrown in the trash. I mean, there's been lots of breaches, so to speak. But when does that cross the line to where the studio is saying, you know what, this has gone too far? Yeah. But the bottom line is I can't imagine they would ever want to alienate any of their fans. That's who got them to this point.
And she didn't do any of that, by the way. She didn't leak anything online, didn't go viral. It was just in her camera, and they yanked it away from her. You know, Mike, we have 25% of the world's prison population here in the U.S., although only 5% of the world's population, because we lock people up every time they sneeze in this country. This is ridiculous. We can't afford it. Our prisons are bursting at the seams. What possible justification would there be for throwing this young woman into prison for 3 years or even for 1 day?
Yeah.
I mean, it just makes absolutely no sense.
Already spent 2 nights, and from how we read this, the usher didn't even issue a warning. An usher saw saw the taping. Normally, you'd expect the usher to go, hey, we don't allow that. You might want to put that away, wrap it up. Didn't even get that.
You know what the problem is, and it was in the statement that you just read, the words zero tolerance. Whenever I see those words, it's 0 cents, because you take somebody who has a technical violation of something, but in good faith, they get thrown into jail. We all pay the tab. I think we should get rid of zero tolerance policies and go back to judges actually using their common sense.
Common sense.
That's why we have them on the bench.
That's what we said at the outset. Let's get a call real quick. Kathy in New York. Kathy, your thoughts on this one?
Yes, I agree with the woman who was just talking. It's crazy.
Yeah.
She was just having a good time with her sister for her birthday. I have 6 sisters, and we always are doing something crazy no matter where we are. Somebody's always got a camera. You mean now I got to worry when we go to the movie theater? Oh, my goodness, I might go to jail for 2 days, maybe 3 years? That's crazy.
Yeah, you know, and I don't even know if the normal moviegoer knows there is such thing as a zero tolerance. I want to read a Facebook comment from Patty writing, there's a zero tolerance policy on recording in a movie theater, but is that posted anywhere in the theater? How would a person even know this? Kelly, is that stuff posted?
Yeah, they're pretty strict about that, and I'm surprised that some people are unaware of it, because it's a pretty common thing. I mean, their security is beefed up. It's something that you're not allowed to take pictures. You're not allowed to take video camera. I mean, even if you see people texting next to you, the lights are on their little screens. It's annoying to sit next to them, but it is up there.
Here's the statement from Movico. That's the theater chain where she was watching the movie. Their statement is, in order to combat the increasing theft of copyrighted films, the motion picture industry has encouraged theater owners to adopt a zero tolerance policy prohibiting the video or audio recording of any portion of a movie. Lisa Bloom and I totally agree. The zero tolerance stuff, in this case, it's got to go. She's already spent 2 nights in jail. That's more than enough punishment. But not everyone agrees. Ellen is with us in Ohio. Ellen, you think she should be punished, huh?
Yes, I do, Mike.
Jail time?
Absolutely. Yes.
Wow. Why?
Because these young adults and young teenagers pirated music, they pirate movies, they take every bend of the law they can. And this young girl is not dumb. She's not 10 or 11 or 12. She is old enough to know better than to videotape anything within a movie.
Okay.
She should be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law.
But even though she's not trying to pirate the movie, she was taping her sister's. I mean, her voice is all over it. She's not going to send this to anybody. It's just for their enjoyment to remember a surprise party.
And who's to say she's not going to put it on Facebook or YouTube or somebody else? That's piracy.
Wow, Ellen, hard line here. Lisa, I'm a little surprised.
Here's the problem. You know, the law looks at what did happen, not what could have happened.
Right.
She could have done a lot of things. She could have made a DVD and sold it on the street corners, but she didn't do that. She did, as you say, tape it with her voice over it. It was only a couple of minutes, and she never had any intent to sell it, and she never did post it because it was taken from her immediately. So given those facts, I think it is silly to incarcerate her for a couple of days and have her face felony charges. I think we have a lot more serious things that our criminal justice system should be focusing on.
What should be the punishment? I mean, I personally think the 2 nights in jail is more than enough. Lisa?
Well, I would say take the camera out of her hands and exclude her from the theater and tell her she's got to go. She's not allowed to do that.
Yeah. Agreed
well,
there.
Mike,
Go ahead, Kelly.
Mike, here's a crux of the issue I think that we're facing is that technology is ever changing. And the studios, we saw it with the music industry who handled it pretty poorly because they ended up punishing the consumer. We're seeing it in TV. They need to figure out some way to embrace the new media, the iPhones, the camera phones, everything that the consumers can have at their hands and send out immediately because it's not going anywhere. It's going to continue to happen. And when that does, I think the studios and everyone involved feels a level of anxiety, or they feel it as a little bit of threat because they're not sure how to handle it.
Kelly,
the days are gone from that golden era where the studios controlled everything.
Real quick on context, how much does the movie industry lose in pirated films? It's billions, right?
It's quite a bit, but I don't think we're talking about this little, 3-minute thing.
Right.
We're talking about the international market where they're coming in with their shaky tripod, they're filming the whole thing, and then they're selling it on the street.
Right. No, exactly.
That's where the problem lies.
And that's why we think Samantha Tumpak should be let go, and 2 nights in jail is already too much. But it's been an interesting conversation. Lisa, and Kelly, thank you for talking about